Dust everywhere. I'm stuck. All right, here we go. This time on the Dirthead Shed, I got some new toolboxes in a little tiny pickup truck. See if we can get these things into the shop. My buddy Jesse's over here trying to jack the back of the truck up enough so that we can get the thing up the little lip into the shop. We got to use a little jack to jack it up to put the big jack under it. This is going really smooth so far. Dust everywhere. I'm stuck. That's a bad sound. Now we're to the big cross member. Maybe lower the back, see if the front will... No, it's just teetering on the... I think we just need to put a couple blocks of wood under the front tires. There's some. Totally normal. That was easier than I thought.
It was?
Yeah. In a perfect world, we get this one out first, but that ain't gonna happen. So we're gonna have to get this one out first and try not to let that one like fall off the side. It's a mess. We just get these things in there as far as possible. I'm kind of banking on this one going farther through.
This one I've got like a third.
This one's maxed out. We might be able to scoot it towards us. At least it's not going to fall on us. That's not terrible.
Yeah.
Let's see what happens. Heck yeah. Yeah, just throw it in neutral. We're just going to push it forward. There we go. Wow, this is fantastic so far. Yeah. Well, I wonder if the bone creeper would be a good dolly.
I think that would be a destruction of a bone creeper.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Bone creeper testing. Wheels haven't blown off of it. Maybe that's what we do is we take all the cardboard off and then we can just lift the thing and not have to deal with the pallet and all that. So this should go straight up. Much better. Surprise! I got new toolboxes. I know you probably didn't know what was in the bed of the truck, but look at that. Harbor Freight Icon 73. Super rad. Dude, we can totally just put the lift arms under it now.
Oh yeah, now we're set.
We're golden. I got a full set of these toolboxes like a month ago, and one of them showed up damaged, and Harbor Freight set me up with a clean one. So we're just trying to get this thing out of my truck. I could have had it delivered, but it would have showed up down at the street and I wouldn't have been able to get it up to the shop. So I ended up running down there and throwing it in the bed of the D50, which is totally a bad move in my part, but we were making it happen. Nobody died the other day when I was transporting it. If we do right now, nobody will die today. Step 1, don't die. I'm pretty sure after this video airs, Harbor Freight's gonna stop sending me anything. They're just gonna start.
Especially since you basically just alluded to your first toolbox being damaged by.
Well, it fell off of a truck. It wasn't mine. I'm just saying it.
Yeah, you just incriminated yourself for a
Yeah.
crime you didn't commit.
That's what I do.
Yep. So, hold on a second. Oh, dude, we got one more.
It should work. Sweet. That's way less sketchy than me getting the last one out with my daughter and wife off the car trailer without killing ourselves. Let's see how it is with a... Do I have like a leather pry bar? This one won't scratch anything.
That's gonna scratch everything.
Shh. Don't tell. I wonder at what point does it become a catapult? It's like it's ice skating up there. Isn't that weird?
That's so weird.
Flip it around for the world to see. It's very heavy. Maybe I should just move the camera.
I was gonna say.
It's on there. Nobody died. That was the part I was worried about dying on. We're doing the side cabinets now. It looks like I'm gonna bolt these things to the main cabinet and then we can like swap around casters and doors and flip things around and make it all do its thing. It's pretty wild, dude. This is like a serious unit. Harbor Freight's gonna be bummed when like tomorrow these things are covered in Bondo dust and overspray. This thing's wild, dude. It's like got its own zip code.
Yeah, how's it going? Big toolbox land. Dang.
Holy cow.
Thanks for showing up at the end.
Yeah.
After many times of almost death.
This thing's a unit, man.
It is. It's like a mobile home that you store tools in.
Corn dog storage here. Dude, it's sick.
Do you have the ratchet wrench out?
I don't. I thought you did, so I never even go look.
I think it's actually... I have like a 12 ratchet wrench.
Dude, now it's time to
Buy.
hand tool shopping.
I know. I'm gonna have to like sell off a bunch of my junk so that I can actually put decent stuff in here, like full sets of things.
Oh, are you filming?
Yeah.
What's up, future Dave in the editing room? Can't hear me because the mic's on Dave, but...
You can hear me.
Hi.
Let's see if we can lift
The
this.
final piece, boss.
We got this and one other one. And then we gotta hoist up on top of there.
Oh,
Jeez,
that's
that's
not gonna
heavy.
happen.
It's very heavy. This is the smaller of the two. Let me go.
Dave said these weren't heavy.
Oh my gosh.
Are you gonna be able to get that over your head?
Yeah. I think
Be
they
ready to top in on this.
might have been underestimating how many tools I had, or overestimating.
Alright, 4 more, guys. We got 4 more.
Holy cow. Oh my gosh. This is absolutely ridiculous.
Oh, at least this one's a flipper.
Yeah.
Yeah, but how you get the door back down after?
Call cam.
Holy cow.
Okay. All right. What's next? Snacks up here.
It's so giant.
I'm 6 foot and it's.
And Cameron's 6'5".
Yeah. Up here.
Yeah, that might just be your new camera apartment.
My new hall.
All right, I gotta park this thing for a minute and get back to working on Jeeps. Thanks, Harbor Freight. That thing's wild. Looks like a giant boombox on camera.
Yeah.
I just got back into the shop. I've been gone for a week down to shoot a Roadworthy Rescues, which was awesome. And now I'm back in the shop and I only have 4 days to finish up this build for Unreal Adventure. The Jeep truck thing, the Jeep double-ended Jeep, you'll see a full-blown like video series on it that Cameron's shooting. But today I need to get a little bit of behind the scenes work done on it, so I figured I'd grab my camera. I built this crazy half sheet metal, half tube bed for the thing, and I need to get in here and do some body work. I got to get this thing like in paint by tomorrow night. So I'm gonna crank out a bunch of body work on this, and I figured I'd take you guys along for the ride and kind of show you what my process is on stuff that's like this custom and this custom over here. So let's get busy on this stuff. Let's go ahead and catch you guys up to date on what the bed is. This is all 1 3/4 120 DOM that I bent up and mitered and cut and shaped and created this sort of tube trail bed for the rig. And then I came out with 18 gauge sheet metal and I skinned it. You'll be able to see a bunch of that process on the videos that Cameron's putting together. Today, what I need to do is sort of work through the weld seams and all that, finish up a few little brackets that go in here that are gonna give me something to attach aluminum floor to. I did want to give you a heads up on this wire that I'm using. I've got this, it's called, I didn't save the box, it's a ESOB Easy Grind MIG welding wire, and it's just kind of softer than that E70S6 wire that's super common. And man, it did a great job of being able to weld and blend it on this stuff. So if you are ever doing a bunch of body work where you kind of have to like sand or file or metal finish your stuff, this wire, it was really expensive, but it actually like works really good for this job. There's other parts in here where I'm using it to weld brackets and tabs and like angle iron, and it's definitely not as good for that. It kind of welds a little bit, it just welds weird, but for the job of using it as a body, like a bodywork type of welding wire, it's really good. Let's see if let me pop the side of this open so you can see. Is it gonna have a fancy logo? Nope, there's nothing on there. Dang it. Anyways, it's ESOB Easy Grind 030, and it's amazing for this process. Let me go grab some more angle iron and we'll start finishing these corners over here so that I have something to screw the bed floor to, and then we'll kind of call that done and then get to spreading some filler and smoothing all this stuff out. I'm trying to button up the floor in this thing, and it's just sort of angle iron that is getting notched into round tubing so the aluminum floor can screw to the angle iron, and the angle iron will weld in there to the round tube. The old ameribrade is absolutely amazing for this job. I did all the easy notches like before I left on that last trip. So now I've got all these like, difficult ones. Get out of the way, welding helmet. Now I got all these difficult ones to make, which I guess that's what we do. We just like save the hard part for last, right? Needs a little more. That's my jam right there. That's my jam. All right, here's a little better angle on this. Basically, I'm trying to have that kind of fit under there and weld in flat and then this one notch in over here, and that'll be where the floor screws down to, and that can also be like the start of a wheel well tub or something like that. That one is good enough to go for now, and I'll duplicate it for the other side. Sorry, I'm kind of throwing you guys into this project like as it's nearing completion, but we will, you'll get a chance to see a lot more of this stuff on Cameron's videos. I like using angle iron on floors and stuff like this just because you don't end up with a bunch of water traps. Seems like if you use square tube, you like never really get the welding perfect and you end up with water traps and spots for it to rust. This angle iron is just like a little less susceptible to being a problem later. I can't get the caulking and primering done yet because I still need to cut the holes for the tail lights, and I need to do a little bit of drilling for the fender flares on this thing because I need to get all that, like all the grinding and drilling and metal shaving kind of stuff done before I put that primer and caulking in the bed for those like water trap spots. Right now I'm laying out the holes for the tail lights. I'm running these stock Jeep JL tail lights. I picked a set of them up while I was in San Diego, and they should work out pretty good on here. Cool. Here's what we're doing. I got the holes drilled for the fender flares on both sides. I just kind of referenced off of these holes and transferred over there. Hopefully they're good enough. We've got the tail lights kind of in. We got all the things in the bed that I'm going to put in the bed for mounting the floor to. So it's time to do what I came out here to do. I was trying to get this done before I left to go on that Roadworthy show. But basically, where the sheet metal is and the round tube is, it creates like a V, a big water pocket basically. So what I want to do right now, super quick, down and dirty, is spray some epoxy primer in those valleys so that that can like sink in, adhere to the metal and do its job. And then that needs to dry pretty quick because I need to get seam sealer in there. Seam sealer is basically like caulking. I'll show you that stuff here in a little bit. But I need to get that in because like some of these spots are so big that it's going to take like probably more than one swipe and quite a bit of time for it to dry all the way. So you'll probably be wondering why I'm not like spraying everything, and that's it. I just kind of need to break these jobs down into little jobs that I can handle. And right now I need to just get some epoxy primer in there so that I can get some seam sealer in there and let that start drying and not try to make too big of a process out of this whole thing. Too big of a project. The primer turned out pretty good in there. Not too bad. So I'm gonna let that dry for a little bit and then I will smear some seam sealer in there, and then I feel like I can kind of start on the bodywork. The seam sealer turned out good. That's all in place and doing its job now. I've got my fantastic glass from U-pol. I'm going to do my first coat on here with that. That's like a fiberglass reinforced filler. So I'm really just going to kind of focus it on these edges where there's a weld or where there's a bigger dent or whatever. So we'll get that sorted out, and then hopefully we can slam coat after coat of filler on this thing and maybe get it close to primer tonight. That would be awesome. Before I can fill this, I kind of need to get rid of this unsanded section between the weld and the tube. So I'll use my die grinder with a little cutoff wheel and just kind of go through. And we're going to scratch that up, and that'll give us like all the adhesion that we need for that, that fiberglass filler. All right, I got that all kind of ground out. We don't have too many of those little unsanded spots. Now I've got 36 grit on the grinder, and we're just going to kind of scuff the whole thing up. Sweet. All right, now I'm ready for filler. I am going to be super rusty when it comes to doing body work. I haven't been out here and done anything in a year almost. Mix up some of this glass filler, and this is what I'm going to go over the biggest of the dents and the welds with. Let's mix this up and go get to work. Anytime you get started on bodywork after being away from it for a while, it takes a little while to get your system back. How much hardener to use, how quick to sand on it, how to keep all your tools clean. The first spot I want to work is this edge right here where I built this lip that kind of actually helps follow the shape of the factory body, the factory fender. There's a ton of welding and fabricating in a really small space, and I need to make sure that I use this fiberglass reinforced filler up against those welds if I'm trying to smooth it out. Kind of like a lot of trauma in this area with this thing being welded in and the tube work and everything all in one little space. That's a good start. This stuff actually kicked off pretty quick. And any of these fiberglass reinforced fillers, this or Marglass, you always want to make sure you get to them before they harden up too hard, because once they're fully kicked off, and it's like sanding on the concrete. All right. I think we're just about ready for the next swipe. Next up is the regular everyday body filler. This stuff is from 3M, and it's just sort of the regular lightweight filler. A little better than Bondo, but nothing super fancy. I'm really just trying to like work this low spot in, and then might as well start kind of trying to fill this edge, the roll on the edge. I'm going to break out the air file and see if we can kind of make some quick work out of this. Oh, my paper's unstuck. That's the worst. Oh God. There we go. All right, I'm getting that front portion kind of figured out. Now I want to go ahead and just kind of, I want to work this weld seam all the way around with some of this fiberglass filler. I on a truck bed like this that's going off-road, like if I just hit these seams and had this little weld transition looking good, that's probably more than enough bodywork for this type of bed. But knowing me, I'll overdo it and try and fix all the dents and things in it. But it's gotta look good once, right? Once you get good at this stuff, like you get your system down, man, you can fly through it. If you don't have your system down like me, you just struggle. Jesse's back. So last night I was out here till 2 something in the morning. I didn't show the last few steps, but I was out here just like sanding and grinding and priming and getting this thing to this point. It looks good. There's obviously like little imperfections here and there, but I got the first coat of primer on, so I'm stoked on that. Today I got to get the other side to that point, and then we're actually going to block this thing out and probably shoot paint on it tonight, good, bad, or indifferent, whether it's ready or not, because I'm out of time. So we'll follow along on the other side a little bit. I got to run to O'Reilly and pick up some more supplies. I pretty much used up everything I had last night, so we can get this thing done. Man, this one's bad over here. It's crazy how much deader the panels are with that seam sealer on the back. Like, it almost sounds like it has dynamite on it. All right, enough screwing around. This part I can't really do much about because it's got so much trauma from welding. Huh. Not bad. I didn't use my camera most of the day because I was filming with Cameron, but I'm kind of like getting farther along on the bodywork on this thing, getting down to where I'm kind of doing the last like skim coats of things. That's not really a skim coat, but it's like the metal glazed putty that I'm using. But we're gonna get this thing pretty close and prime it here in the next probably hour or two. Jesse's over there busting out tires. I'm running these Terraflex wheels on this thing, which are pretty cool, but I had mounted IROX to them, so we got to pop the IROX off so that we can slam the Milestars on it. It's really cool. I'm actually going on UA this year as the Milestar sponsored rig, so I'm gonna have like the big Milestar logo on the truck, and yeah, it's pretty neat. It'll help me get through the trip without it costing me quite so much, and I get a chance to, you know, get to go do this trip and have fun and do it over and over again. It's like a once in a lifetime deal that I've been able to go on like 12 times now. So I'm exhausted, dudes. Like, I was back in Minnesota last week working on an episode of Roadworthy Rescues with Derek, and it was like 7 days, late nights, kind of partying pretty hard because that's what you do when you work with Derek. It was fun. But I'm exhausted. I was out here till 2 in the morning last night. I'll probably be out here until then again tonight. Jesse's getting wheels done. I'm getting this cab sort of prepped so that we can start getting some primer on that. AJ's cranking away on the bedside. This thing looks good. I think that's it for this Dirthead Shed. If you guys want to see more about this, you're going to have to watch the nice videos that Cameron puts together. I'm just kind of doing a little bit of filler work here and there. But thank you guys for watching. I hope you dig it. I know Jesse, look at how excited Jesse is. Remember how excited you were when we had to lift that toolbox over there? Lame. All right. We're going to keep working into the night. We'll see you guys next week.